Jess, tell me about yourself. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington, King County.
Who raised you?
Well, that's a good question. I was raised by a few people. First, my mom, my dad, and my Auntie Barbara. And then I believe my Auntie Barbara did it for a little bit. And that is my dad's sister.
Okay.
And then my Auntie Wanda, who was my mom's sister, took over from when I was a little infant till about 3 years old. And she had her two kids, my cousin Toya and my cousin Joy, who has Down syndrome. And because she had my cousin Joy, and it was a little too much, she couldn't do it anymore. And so my mom, my stepmom, and my dad got me. So I went to live with them. So my stepmom and my dad raised me from 3 to 9.
Okay.
And then from 9 to 18, I was in the foster care system.
Oh. So when you were 9 years old, you went into foster care. You remember that?
Yes.
Why did you go into foster care?
I went to foster care because my stepbrother, they would pick on me a lot, and it was like kind of like a strict home a little bit. So I would go from my mom and dad, from their house and to my Auntie Wanda's, because they didn't want to separate me and my cousin Joy, because I was helping my Joy with his development,
Right.
with his Down syndrome.
Right.
So, so on the weekends I would go over there with my auntie and my cousin Joy, and I would spend the weekend with them. And so, because like me going from one family to going back home, it was like, like over here you get treated like how a kid's supposed to be treated, and then going back over to my regular house, it was like, back to, getting spankings and stuff. Like my stepmom was, one kid gets in trouble, we all got in trouble. So yeah, and then it got a little too much to where I ran away one day, and then my stepmom, she didn't know that the police officers that had me on the phone, the neighbors had caught me, and she didn't know that they had her on speakerphone, and she told them to just take me. And so that's how I got in the foster care system.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your dad didn't fight for you?
My dad they got into it one day, and he had left, and
Gotcha.
She had told the schools and everybody to, if he came to pick me up, to not let them do that.
Okay, so you were just with your stepmom.
Yeah.
At that time.
And I guess because of her, that's why my dad was even involved.
Maybe so, yeah.
So that's why I got put in the foster care system.
And tell me about, your experience in the foster care system.
Well, when I went in there, from 9 to 14, I was a mute. I completely shut all communication off from myself.
Wow.
So that's kind of why, like now, I'm still kind of working on my communication skills, because I stopped myself from talking. I wouldn't even say like one word.
Do you remember why?
No, I just told myself I wasn't going to talk to anybody. I wasn't going to speak anymore, because I felt like me talking was the reason why I got myself into the position I was in.
So you kind of vowed
to not speak anymore.
Yeah, I hear that and I go, as a 9-year-old little girl, you experienced some severe trauma.
Yeah.
By getting ripped out, and maybe that was a response.
Yeah.
To just shut down and
when
protected. It's like you protected yourself.
Yeah. Gosh, sometimes now too, I would do it, like if I get extremely upset or somebody like hurts my feelings or something, I'll go back and like shut all the way down and won't say anything.
Right. Yeah, interesting. But when you were 14, something changed.
I got into my last foster home. Her name was Sister Barbara, and she was a church lady. She was her actually being my foster mom, she was somebody with my Auntie Wanda. We go to church every Sunday. She was somebody we would fellowship with. So on occasion Sundays and stuff. So I kind of already knew her, but now I was in her household. But she taught me a lot of stuff. Like I like being in her house. She taught me how to clean and stay clean. She taught me how to keep my hair up.
Like hygiene stuff.
Yeah, and she was really strict, but she was strict in a good way, you know. With you know, like how she had order, and
Like structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we all need.
Yes.
Structure, especially with kids.
Yes.
Oh, as an adults too, I guess.
Yeah, but she was cool, but so I gradually started to like talk, but I would talk to the kids, but you know, and just working my way talking again, and then I got so when I was in foster care, I was never in school.
Oh.
So when I got with Sister Barbara, that's when they put me back. You know, she got me into school.
Okay.
Back in the public school.
I see.
So I had to start talking and stuff.
Oh, so they didn't put you in school because you weren't speaking?
No, it was being bounced around.
Yeah.
I never stayed in one foster home for too long.
Got it. Yeah, except for Sister Barbara's.
Yeah, my last one.
So you started talking to other children.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess when you became mute, you would talk in your head, but never verbally.
No.
Sing, nothing.
Nothing.
But then, I mean, the first time, do you remember like when you first kind of spoke to somebody?
It was her grandkids. She had custody of 2 of her grandkids.
That were living in the home as well.
And so that's when I started to talk because of them.
And then eventually to adults.
Yeah. So from 14 to 18, she had me.
Right. And then when in public school, did you do like high school and all that stuff?
Yeah. So I started school again at middle school. So from Aki Kurosi, I went to Aki Kurosi, and then I went to Rainier Beach High School and graduated.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you're 18 and you age out of foster care.
Yeah, that was the crazy part. So my social worker took me to SSI office in Bellevue, and she set me up with SSI. And then one day, once I was a senior, I started, she actually taught me how to ride the bus. So one day we were in Renton, and she just dropped me off at the bus stop and was like, all right, now find your way home. So that's
threw you in the fire.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of learned how to ride the bus. And so I would, from me learning how to ride the bus, I would, after school, when I was done with school, I would go to my grandmother's house.
Okay.
So me and my grandmother were very, very close.
Nice.
It was no matter where I was at, my grandma would always come and visit me. So, so I wanted to I was making sure I was keeping in touch with my grandma, and then because I had leverage or whatever, I would go see my grandma every day after school. So when I'm 18 now, one day I get to my grandma's house, and there's these 3 garbage bags sitting there with 2 letters on the table, and I'm like, oh grandma, what's this? She's like, oh, that's some stuff they dropped off for you. And I'm looking at it, and it's so it's telling me these are my belongings, and these are the things that I still need to have to do or whatever for myself, and basically I got the boot that way.
That's how you found out?
Yeah.
From Sister Teresa's?
No, from the social worker dropping my clothes and everything I had at Sister Barbara's.
Sister Barbara, sorry.
Yeah, was now at my grandma's house in garbage bags.
Wow.
And
that's how you found out.
Yeah.
Oh, and were you like, can I stay with you, Grandma, kind of thing, or? Where'd you go? What happened?
I think I was just everywhere. I was at my grandma's house. It was it's a 3-bedroom house, and my mom was living in one of the rooms. She was already living in my great auntie Linda's room with her. My brother John was there with his little family he had, and then my grandma had her room. And so it was the living room was the only room available, but sometimes it was just a little crowded, and then.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, so, and then it was basically just finding my own way, but 18, I don't know where, I was just everywhere. I think I was just basically on the streets.
Just bouncing around.
Yeah.
Or did you become unhoused? would you say?
Not really.
Or couch surfing, or
Yeah, I think I had a boyfriend at the time, and I was staying with. I kind of like moved in with them guys for a little bit, and so I stayed with them for a little while, and then until that got a little too much, and then I went from basically back and forth from my grandma's to like different spots.
Yeah.
So I think about once I graduated out of high school, I found my brother's baby mom actually was telling me about this little studio that somebody was trying to hook her up with, and I ended up getting it because I was, mind you, my SSI. I had this my SSI money, and so I was able to pay for it. So I got me a little studio, and I was staying there for about for like a year or something, out in South Park.
Gotcha.
So.
And you working or anything?
Yes, I was working at McDonald's.
Great.
It was my first job.
Oh, me too.
So I got hooked up with that, and a few months. I think it was like a summer job. I was working at McDonald's just for like the summer, and from McDonald's, what else did I do? I had McDonald's. I worked at a strip club. So that was my second job. No, that was my third job. Sorry, scratch that.
It's okay.
No, so okay, from McDonald's, I went to Safeway. No, I'm lying. Sorry. Can we scratch that too?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to think here.
It's not the most, I mean, the order's like whatever, but it's like, it's more about like, you're in your own apartment, you're working.
Yes.
And you're in your 20s, my guess, by now?
Yes.
And
Thank you. And then I ended up meeting my baby's dad.
Okay,
yeah. 20, so I think I'm 20, I'm 20 years old now.
And you have a child?
I ended up having my daughter, yes.
Tell me about, what was that like?
That was cool. So I remember baby's dad, and I ended up moving in with him. And then I got pregnant with my oldest daughter, Armani, and about 3 months pregnant. And then so January 3rd, 2010, my baby's dad got killed trying to help some girls who were fighting, and so now I'm pregnant by myself. So like us, our daughter was supposed to be like, us being able to raise her, like giving her a life that we never had, because he came from like a family where they never celebrated their birthdays, which was pretty jacked up. I've never heard that. Nobody be able to get a candle, a balloon, a cake.
I think certain religions might do that. I don't know. Was the case? I don't know.
It was just that his mom didn't do it. She just didn't do it. And so, and me coming from like my background, we was gonna make sure Armani didn't, never got to experience something like that. But
I'm sorry that he passed away. I'm sorry.
Thanks. Shit happens. He was a good dude. He was one of the best dudes I ever had, though.
What was his name?
His name was Armand.
Armand, you said that, yeah.
Yeah. He was a really good dude.
Yeah. And so you're pregnant with a child.
Yes.
And what do you do?
So I was staying at my grandma's for a minute, and then after I had Armani, I got in touch with my stepmom, and I moved in with her. And then from there, an incident happened one day. So Armani's about three or 6 months, and I had my god sister. She would give me breaks on the weekend and stuff, and so it was like her weekend to pick Armani up. And I had. So she was supposed to be on her way to come get Armani, and I was running down. I was supposed to be doing something. I don't remember what I was on my way to do, but I asked her if she wanted me to leave Armani there or take her with me, and it was just convenient for her to pick her up there. And I asked my mom if she, if it was cool to leave her there. She said she got it, but I already had a feeling it, like I maybe probably should have just took her with me because it was like, she seemed like it was a little overwhelming, and I wish I had took her with me, But so the incident was, I get a call from my god sister saying that I guess my daughter had rolled off the bed and had rolled onto the humidifier. I tell my mom, like I'm a precautious person, so I wanted it on the chair, but my mom was saying it was better on the floor so it could rise up or whatever, but she's on the bed, so I don't know. But she's saying my daughter, now mind you, I put pillows all around my baby and had her like closest to the wall because I just had like this big ass mattress, and I don't know any baby to her first roll to roll over pillows and just keep rolling and rolling. So I think it was just a bigger thing that happened.
Like so she wasn't rolling at that time.
No. So, but there was other kids. My nieces was there, and I think that somebody might have something happened.
And she rolled where?
Off of the bed onto the humidifier, and she had burnt right here, but thank God she closed her eyes, and so now I'm in the hospital, and that's how I became CPS involved, because so yeah, but I was able to get that case closed, and because I was still not, and then I left my stepmom's and took my baby out of there because I knew I wasn't getting the right story, and because I wasn't getting the story that I needed or whatever, I just felt like it wasn't safe. Yeah. It wasn't a safe environment right now for us to be there, so I ended up leaving. And so from there, I went to my friend Mimi's. This one of my homegirls I've been knowing since I was in high school. And I moved in with her in her apartment she had over in West Seattle. We stayed there for a little while. And so my daughter's grandmother had called CPS on me because she didn't know where we were and whatever, because she wasn't seeing her, I guess. She wanted to call CPS on me. And at that time, I was in outpatient treatment at New Traditions. And there you can have your kid there with you because they have a little daycare center there while you're in class. And that's how I found out I had a CPS case open again. And then I went to court, and the judge is telling me that I have all these CPS calls because people just kept calling on me. But, whatever. They're like, if I get one more CPS call, they're going to have to take my baby from me. And yeah, it's just, I have a lot of stuff.
Well, everyone join the club.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a lot of stuff.
Man, you'll be surprised what shit I have. So yeah.
How long ago was this?
This was in when they removed Armani from me, it's like 2013, and by now I got myself into some kind of housing. I got set up with I found Solid Ground, which is a really good program. I really like them, and they had me at the extended stay. So I was staying there with my daughter at the time, and Armani's about 3 years going on 3 now, she's going about 3 now. She's going on 3, and I got us in some kind of housing. We were like a week away from moving in our first apartment, and then CPS became involved again. And that's when they removed her from my care. Because I have too many CPS calls.
And when you say removed her from your care, like permanently?
Yeah, like took her from me.
Wow.
So it was just a whole bunch of stuff going on where like I was doing fine and all this shit, and then because I'm allowing people to come back in my life and thinking like I'm trying to do the right thing by allowing people to see my daughter and be around us and stuff like that, like it's like, why did I do that? But I think I'm doing the right thing when it wasn't probably the best thing. I should have just kept to myself. But I'm not trying to like, be anti from the family, and I just, want to be involved with my family. But it's like the family's the ones that, probably like really hurt me the most and broke up my family and stuff.
Yeah, families are complex and messy and can be.
Yeah.
Well, Jess, let's talk about your current situation. How long you been here?
Oh man. So I have Section 8 through the mayor.
Okay.
Actually, I have an apartment now. I stay at the Mad Flats Apartments in Central District.
Great.
I was actually with my case manager from Reach when he sent the emails that he was sending out 2,000 vouchers, Section 8 vouchers. And so I was the first one to see it and the first one to receive one. So
How long ago was this?
this was in May 2021 or something like that, 2022,
great.
back then. So I was staying up on Fremont, 105th in Aurora. And I was staying at a camp up there. And from there, I went to the Wallingford Inn and started staying there. And then I got my first apartment in April 23rd, 2023. And I've had my apartment ever since.
Great.
But being around and I have a not really nice manager. So I smoke cigarettes. I'm weaning myself off of doing, drugs, my little drug habit, or whatever. Teach his own. But, and I cannot smoke in my apartment. So to not lose my Section 8, I come outside. And then 2, I am totally against people coming inside my apartment because my mail slots is downstairs and I stay all the way on the 6th floor. And so that way, no one is making me lose my apartment.
Yeah.
It's just better if I come see my friends outside.
Yeah, because if you have guests, you could lose your apartment.
And I don't want to put them at risk of feeling like they have to be sticky fingers and stuff. And, like giving a chance of stealing a package because I watched somebody steal a package and make someone else lose their apartment.
Wow.
And they're part of Reach. So, yeah, and I don't want to go down that same road because I'm trying to work towards getting my kids back. And then, too, this is, like me come from being from 18 till I'm 35 now. So from taking that long to get into housing and then to be blessed with the Section 8 voucher, that's something I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
So if it means me having to come out here and visit my friends and be out here and, then yeah.
Yeah, no, you're thinking ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as well, what does it look like and that road look like to get your kids back?
Well, that is something I'm trying to work on now. Is not like when been weaning myself off the drugs too, and so now I'm trying to get back into working again, having a job. So that's something I've been doing lately is trying to apply for jobs so that way I can have something to focus on other than having to have all this open time and not doing anything to make me just want to with my drug habit. So and my drug habit was something that I wanted to always it's not this something I don't want to do or always wanted to do or whatever. It was just when my kids got taken from me, it was like something that it was really hard to deal with on my own.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's I hear it as a coping mechanism. Yeah. Everybody copes, and drugs, legal and illegal. Yeah. There's so many things to cope with.
Right.
Alcohol, whatever.
Yeah, but watching and losing a lot of friends too. A lot of friends got I've seen a lot of my friends. Some of them lost to the little Fetty little situation that's going on, but a lot of my friends got killed. So I lost my friends, a lot of my friends that way.
Like killed, like what?
Like killed, like shot.
Oh,
like
wow.
you know, a lot of them, like a few of them right in front of me. Like a lot of them when, a few of them when I was in and out of jail at the time. So, yeah, that like you know, I've seen a lot of people get, you know, die off the Fetty, but a lot of my friends got killed the other way,
Wow.
being shot. Like you know, it's just messed up.
So you have 2 daughters?
2 daughters.
One daughter is
Armani. She's 14 now.
Yeah.
And then LeJay, she is like, so LeJay got taken right when I had her.
Oh, wow.
Because I had an open CPS case with Armani.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And
I guess my question is, do you know where they are?
No, that's the really messed up thing. Like they have this CASA worker supposed to be. I've never I know that I'm supposed to be receiving like letter or like schoolwork stuff, pictures. I never get anything. I don't get a picture of my daughters. I don't get schoolwork stuff. I've never got any of this stuff. Never. Like I don't know where they're at. I've asked my attorney one time, and he told me he couldn't tell me that. And, yeah, like I have like a really messed up like I'm like a victim of CPS, like really bad. Like you know, I had a social worker take my like we got my daughter back from like this girl who had took custody or you know like got custody of my daughter, and so once her grandmother got her back, my baby's dad's mom, the social worker Lisa Sabrava, she she calls her grandmother and she's like, yeah, you didn't pass this home study or whatever. And we're like, okay, well, what is it that what part of it that we didn't pass? Oh, she can't tell us or whatever. So it was a Friday night at 7 o'clock and she's picking my daughter up, talking about she's on her way to pick her up to put her in a foster home. I don't even know if that's the right process. Like, I've never heard of that, like, being okay to do. But she did it. She made that happen. She came, picked her up at 7 o'clock that night, on Friday night, picked her up and put her in a foster home, and then she quit a week later.
Poor kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. To where, like, when I called to check on my daughter Monday, she's like, well, my daughter was, she kept waking up out of her sleep, screaming and crying and talking about she wants to go home and she wants her mom and stuff. And so, you know, and I, like, that messed me up for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I bet. Like,
it took me a really long time to, like, be able to say my daughter's name without crying and stuff. Like, I went through all the phases, like, you know, like, being angry all the time, not like, you know, lashing out, like having like a suicidal phase, like, you know, I don't know how long it took me to stop or be able to say my daughter's name without crying. I could not see no light. Like, everybody's like, oh, you know, it'll get easier and stuff. I was like, yeah, whatever. But, you know, now, you know, it's getting better. Like, I tell myself, you know, like, at least my daughters are happy and they're okay and they're safe. You know, I said, now, like, while they're not with me, I want to take this time and get myself fully, you know, mentally and healthy and stuff like that, because I don't want them to come back and, you know, I'm not able to take care, you know, like how I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, I hear that. You know, again, kids are such amazing motivators, and I hear that. Like, I want to get there.
Right. Well, I want to make sure I'm healthy.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's like, you know, what does that look like for you, Jess, to get healthy?
Well. And
get your kids back.
I want to get through my my emotional trauma that I have, my mental health, and my social skills and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's yeah. We as people need so much support.
Right.
And like we need, many facets of support, like what you just said.
Yeah.
And man, I hope that you get that.
Yeah, me too.
You know about the Aurora Commons?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. That's a place that has a lot of resources, a lot of good people. Because you lived right close to there, right? What comes to mind?
The Aurora Commons. They used to be a very, very, very good support team, but the new staff not on my okay list.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I'm
very anti-me.
I'm there a couple days a week, and they help a lot of folks.
I hope they do.
But I hear what you're saying. Say no more.
Yeah. Elizabeth is my. I definitely roll with Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Mary is and Sharice.
Yeah, there's some good people there.
Those three are my biggest support team there. I fucks with them.
Oh, I love it.
But
yeah. One last question before we wrap up, Jess. Is there anything that you want the people of Seattle to know?
Yes, man. I want people of Seattle to know that, what do I want them to know? I want Seattle to go back to, not just judging somebody just based off of what they see, give people a chance at least, instead of because everybody has a story. Everybody has a story, and you never know. Some people sit there and they're not knowing by them looking or the mean things they're saying is keeping these people locked in to their situation. And I just want that to stop. There's always, even a hey, or is there anything, even if you can't do anything, is there anything that they can do, or any a little thing goes a long way. A smile goes a long way. It's all about how people, the interactions that that is having a big impact on people and their situation in their life. These people, I hear a lot of them don't, how some people interact with them or how they treat them is keeping them stuck in their situations. And so if we can just I don't know, start seeing, putting themselves in their situation if they was in that situation, so that way, people can stop, feeling like they don't have, anybody else. I just want the reason why everybody's continually homeless and addicts is because they feel like they don't have anybody, and they're continually being judged and not seen as a person or somebody that has a story.
Thanks. I appreciate your time. It's good to hear your voice.
Yes, you too.
Right. You're welcome. All right, let me grab that little mic and
oh man,
take a couple photos.